The hunt for the $1 million Fabergé eggs. In 1827, an ambitious 24-year-old Russian took over his father's jewelry business, determined to make it the talk of Imperial St. Petersburg. 13 years later, having gained a reputation for his craftsmanship and creativity, Peter Karl Fabergé received the ultimate seal of approval, a commission from Tsar Alexander III for a bejeweled Easter egg, a gift for his young bride, Maria Fyodorovna. The white enamel hen egg contained a gold yolk, gold hen, tiny replica of the imperial crown, and ruby pendant. It was a hit, and Fabergé went on to create a new egg for the Tsar every Easter, as well as countless other pieces. Each egg took around a year to complete, contained a surprise, and was designed in secret, with not even the Tsar privy to its design until it was hand-delivered by Fabergé. When Alexander died, his son, Tsar Nicholas II, continued the tradition, commissioning 2 eggs each Easter, one for his mother and one for his own Tsarina, Alexandra Fyodorovna, bringing the total to 50. Although there are 2 more eggs believed to be unfinished commissioned by the Tsar, the 50th egg was the last Fabergé would ever present. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks seized power, and the Tsar and his family fled to Ekaterinburg, where they were executed the following July. The eggs were confiscated. There were 10 held at the Kremlin Armory. Another 10 are thought to have been stolen in 1918, and many more were sold by the Bolsheviks and scattered across the West. Today, 7 imperial eggs are still missing, along with many of their surprises, but an impassioned group of experts and enthusiasts from Russia, the UK, US, Switzerland, and Finland are on their trail. Geza von Habsburg, one of the world's leading Fabergé experts, has been on the egg hunt for more than 40 years. Collectors fully depend on us researchers and auction houses to track them down. I personally rarely miss an opportunity of visiting a garage sale or even the smallest local auction, viewing in the hope of finding Fabergé's 1888 Cherub and Chariot Egg. The total unexpected discovery of one of the missing eggs, 1887 Third Imperial Egg, in a Midwestern antique market last year gives me hope. The stories of these eggs provide a glimpse of the hunger and tenacity of those on the hunt. Vincent Palmad's obsession with Fabergé began at a young age. It started in 1979. I was 14 and visited Moscow and St. Petersburg on a school trip. I fell immediately in love with the culture, and when I saw the Fabergé eggs in the Kremlin Museum, they made a strong impression, he explains. By 2005, Palmad, now an economist at the World Bank who refers to himself as a lucky amateur, had started creating an archive, now containing more than 1,000 auction catalogs and around 200 books, housed in a 2-story library specially built in his home. He and his Russian wife, Anna, another enthusiast, spend around 10 hours a week researching, which paid off in 2011 when they spotted a detailed image and description of the 1887 egg. The pair were due to attend a Fabergé symposium in Richmond, Virginia the next day, where their discovery sparked a frantic search by dealers. Kieran McCarthy, a Fabergé expert at London jeweler Wartsky, shared the image in a Telegraph article in the hope of finding its owner, and last year, an American scrap metal trader about to melt the egg down for gold saw the article online. The trader came to Kieran in London and showed him pictures of the egg, says Palmad. Kieran was on a plane a second later, going back to the Midwest with the owner to check it. The egg was eventually acquired for a private collector for a multi-million-dollar sum. But the most groundbreaking piece of research by Palmad and his wife took place in 2007. Leafing through one of their books, the pair came across pictures of the first Fabergé exhibition in Russia in 1902. In the picture was a vitrine, a type of glass display case, which, according to legend, contained some of the missing eggs. That led us to find a high-resolution picture of that vitrine, said Palmad, and using a magnifying glass, we were able to find the 1888 Cherub and Chariot Egg. It was hidden behind another egg, so we could only see the wheel, but the outline of the egg was reflected in the glass of the vitrine. The egg is yet to actually be found, but thanks to Palmad, there are now only 3 missing Fabergé Imperial eggs left, for which there are no pictures or designs. The research really is the most important thing, explains Alice Illich, former head of the Russian departments at Christie's and Sotheby's. Then people know what they're looking for. So if they do happen to come across it, they know what it is. I wish I could tell you some exciting story about putting on my Indiana Jones hat, but nobody can go off on a Fabergé hunt. It's really a question of hazard and luck and chance and opportunity. Alice's own lucky day came in 2004 when she was invited to the office of an Australian English dealer. He asked me, "Would you like to sell an imperial egg that's been missing?" and opened a door. I saw an image of the winter egg, the Tsar's most expensive commission, created with diamonds and platinum to look like ice, which had been missing since 1975. It transpired that he was the agent for Brian Ledbrook's family, an eccentric character who'd kept the egg and hundreds of other antiques and jewelry in his bedroom. There were things under his bed, in cupboards. It was overflowing, but he never let anyone in his room, so nobody knew that he had this egg until he died. Despite sharing research, there's competition between the experts, as director Patrick Mark found when researching his new film, Fabergé, A Life of Its Own. I met Tatiana Fabergé, a great-granddaughter of Karl, a redoubtable Russian lady who's extremely knowledgeable about Fabergé, and she said, "You must be careful because so many people get involved in this Fabergé business and eventually they end up thinking that they are Karl Fabergé." I do understand what she meant because you come across some people who are very proprietorial about their knowledge and these little scraps of information. There are a lot of old-fashioned looks that go on between people, I've no doubt. So many things have happened in this Fabergé world over the years. Scandal, fake eggs, all sorts of skullduggery. Von Habsburg recalls in One American Collector Malcolm Forbes, who took his competition to an international level. In 1965, he acquired his first Fabergé Easter egg, and his ensuing rapidly growing appetite for imperial eggs was dictated by his urge to outclass his Soviet counterparts wherever possible. The fact that the Kremlin Armory Museum owned 10 imperial eggs galvanized Forbes in his search to go one better. And by his own count, he had obtained parity with Moscow by 1985. That year, Fabergé's cuckoo egg, not in pristine shape and arguably not aesthetically the most desirable of the imperial eggs, appeared at a Sotheby's auction that year. And when the hammer came down at $1.6 million in Forbes' favor, the auctioneer was prompted to say, "The score now stands at Kremlin 10, Forbes 11. With today's enthusiasts just as passionate, it seems only a matter of time before another discovery is made. In fact, one may be just around the corner," says Palmad. There's a big discussion going on about the 1902 egg and whether it's been found or not, but I cannot say any more. It seems that the search will go on until all the eggs have finally been tracked down. It's like a gigantic puzzle emerging in front of your eyes, which is built one piece at a time, he adds. And that combination of unmatched craftsmanship, creativity, diversity, romance, and a foregone era which will never come back, it's addictive. 1895, Rosebud Egg. The first egg given to Nicholas's new Tsarina contains a yellow enameled rosebud, a sign in her native Germany of purity. It was also once owned by an English couple who reportedly damaged the egg's central panel by hurling it across the room during an argument. 1901, Flower Basket Egg. This egg was once thought to be by Boucheron rather than Fabergé. Extensive research by Geza von Habsburg and a photograph confirmed it is Fabergé's. 1914, Imperial Coronation Egg. This egg is a miniature replica of the coach in which Alexandra Fyodorovna rode into Moscow on the morning of the coronation. Painstakingly faithful to the original, it took Fabergé's craftsman, George Stein, 15 months to create. 1907, the Love Trophy Egg. Controversy surrounded this egg for 50 years, with experts struggling to decide when it was given, to whom, what the surprise was, and how it came out of Russia. We now know that it was given in 1917 to the Dowager Maria Fyodorovna, and that the surprise was a miniature of all the imperial children. Its route out of Russia remains a mystery.